A woman who cut her former girlfriend in half and buried her body in a garden more than 15 years ago has been jailed for life with a minimum term of 21 years for murder. Anna Podedwarda from Poland killed Izabela Zabloka with a horse figurine before wrapping her remains in bin bags in a filthy makeshift grave in Derby. 30-year-old Zabloka was reported missing after losing contact with family in 2010. Prosecutors said her killer finally cracked last year when a Polish journalist flew to the UK to interview her.
In 2010, Izabela Zabloka disappeared without leaving behind evidence of a crime. There was no disturbance reported, no eyewitness account, and no physical proof that harm had occurred. Her case was initially treated as a long-term missing person investigation rather than a criminal matter. At the time, such disappearances, especially involving migrant adults, often received limited attention due to jurisdictional complexity and lack of immediate indicators of danger. Several factors contributed to the case remaining unresolved for years. Izabela had moved abroad, reducing daily contact with people who could quickly raise concerns. Time passed without official findings, and silence gradually replaced urgency. Without a body, authorities had no confirmed crime scene, and without proof of violence, the case stalled. For 15 years, one central question remained unanswered. How does a person vanish completely without leaving evidence behind? Izabela Zabloka was born and raised in Poland, where she lived close to her family. She maintained regular contact with relatives and was known to communicate frequently, especially by phone. Family members described her as practical, organized, and focused on improving her circumstances through work. Her employment history consisted mainly of short-term and manual jobs, common in her region at the time. Izabela expressed ambitions tied to stability rather than wealth, seeking consistent income and independence. These goals influenced her decision to leave Poland. Before her disappearance, Izabela maintained a predictable routine of communication with her family. There were no reported mental health concerns and no indication that she intended to cut off contact. Financially, she had limited resources and relied on shared arrangements. Socially, her circle was small and centered on close relationships rather than a broad network.
She wasn't alive.
Anna is 1425 and I'm arresting her on suspicion of murder.
I came from work and we started yanking each other and then she started strangling me. She was drunk.
Pamiętam, że coś leżało
I wanted to defend myself, near the window, by the window. I wanted to weaken her a bit. She wasn't letting go. Later, somehow I hit her. I don't know how it happened. I don't remember.
Izabela met Anna Podedwarda in Poland, and their relationship developed both personally and practically. They shared housing and later made joint decisions about work and relocation. The relationship involved mutual dependence, particularly after moving abroad. Over time, the balance within the relationship shifted. Izabela became increasingly reliant on her partner for financial management, accommodation, and communication. Friends and relatives later noted that most information about Izabela's life abroad came through Anna. There were no formally documented conflicts, but isolation increased after migration. Izabela's access to independent resources, including documents and money, became limited. These conditions were not recognized as warning signs at the time. The couple relocated to Derby, England, around 2010. Their living conditions were modest and employment was inconsistent. Language barriers and unfamiliar systems increased their dependence on each other. Contact with family in Poland became less frequent. Migration reduced oversight from relatives and made monitoring Izabela's well-being more difficult. This environment allowed her disappearance to be explained away as relocation or personal choice. Izabela's final confirmed phone call with her family occurred in August 2010. The conversation was routine and contained no indication of distress or plans to disappear. After that call, communication stopped entirely. Initially, family members assumed delays were temporary. Explanations suggested voluntary absence rather than danger. These assumptions contributed to the delay in recognizing the seriousness of her disappearance. Izabela Zabloka was last confirmed alive in late August 2010, shortly after her final phone call with family in Poland. After that point, she stopped appearing at work and withdrew entirely from social contact. No independent witness reported seeing her leave the shared home. Anna Podedwerna explained Isabella's absence by claiming she had chosen to move on and limit contact. Over time, these explanations changed in detail but were not immediately challenged. Authorities lacked evidence of a crime, no confirmed crime scene, and no proof of violence. As an adult migrant, Isabella was legally allowed to disappear, and cross-border reporting limitations caused the investigation to stall. For more than a decade, Anna Podedwerna lived without raising suspicion. She maintained ordinary routines and did not attract police attention. No body meant no homicide case under the law. Isabella's family continued to seek answers through informal channels, but without new evidence, progress was limited. Earlier investigative opportunities, such as searching the property, were missed due to legal constraints and lack of cause. Years later, police reviewed unresolved missing person cases involving migrant victims. Inconsistencies in prior statements became more apparent when timelines were reassessed. Investigators returned focus to the Derby property. Search warrants were obtained, and renewed questioning began, marking the first major development in years. In 2025, human remains were discovered on the property during a lawful search. Forensic testing confirmed the identity as Isabella Zabłocka. Scientific analysis established that the death was not natural. The discovery legally transformed the case from a disappearance into a homicide investigation.
Anna Podedwerna was found guilty of murder after a trial here at Derby Crown Court, where the jury heard she'd wrapped her up in bin bags and buried her in a filthy makeshift grave.
Anna is 1425 and I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Following confirmation, Anna Podedwerna was arrested. She was charged with murder, preventing lawful burial, and perverting the course of justice. The recovery of remains provided the legal foundation that had been missing for years. The trial took place at Derby Crown Court. Prosecutors relied on timelines, contradictory explanations, and forensic evidence. The defense challenged interpretation and intent. The jury focused on inconsistencies and long-term concealment. The jury returned a guilty verdict on all charges. The court emphasized the length of concealment and obstruction. A life sentence was imposed, reflecting the seriousness of the offense. The conviction brought resolution after 15 years. Media attention increased sharply following the verdict. The case exposed systemic weaknesses in how missing migrant cases are handled and how lack of early evidence can delay justice rather than prevent it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more crime stories.